Hello, everyone, and welcome to Groovy Duke, your channel for all things groovy-lang. If you find these videos useful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so that more people can have a groovy day. So today we're talking about the Groovy Truth. So let's go over to our console and get us off the screen. And I'm going to copy over some Java code to our console. Now, one of the things that you'll notice when I run this is going to run this as if it was Groovy code. So this won't actually tell you the whole story of what we're going through here. So I actually set this up, and I have over here on the command line. I ran the same thing, and you're going to see this particular instance is going to be different than all the others. So just to go through this quickly, I have a test truth method which takes a boolean operation, and it prints out true if that was came through as a true and the operation. Now, because this is Java, I can't just pass the operation of what I'm doing. But within Groovy, I'll show you where I can get away with that and do something a little bit more dynamic. Now here, we're starting off. False is false. 0 == 1 is false. If you wanted to check like a string, you could do dot is empty, and negate that. That will be false, because this one is empty, so that's would be true. Same thing with like a list or a map. So you always have to check is empty with things, or is null and stuff like that. Which gets to be kind of tedious and a lot more verbose than it needs to be. So going through all of these, true is true, 1 == 1, primitive is true, and I have these breaks just to break things up. And then we get to lists, which you add a whole bunch of things to lists, but you have to check is empty and negate it, which is kind of weird. But that will get you true. Then I have these map examples. These are the ones that are a little bit more interesting. So these are second from the bottom. So not that group, but if I just scroll up just a little, that's all this group. So this is running this as if it was Groovy. And one of the things that, all these are coming back true. But the ones that I want you to pay attention to is the equals equals and the dot equals. Now, in Java, what it does is equals equals is identity. So it's like, are these two things the same object? N and M are two different objects that we created, two different hash maps. They just happen to contain the same, contents. So equals equals, this should be false. So if you run it in Java, and I come over here, and you see down here, it's coming back as false. But if you're running it as Groovy, equals equals is dot equals, so this comes through as true. And obviously equals equals, or dot equals comes through as true as well. So, and then the example that I had set up earlier is trying to do the same thing with strings, but this all comes back as true regardless of whether it's Java or not. And I think that's just because strings are kind of like a special case when you're compiling. All the strings are contained within your program, so you can check, you can do an equals equals and get away with it. I wouldn't, but if you're in Java. But if you're Groovy, equals equals is your friend. So let's actually look at some Groovy code now. And I'm just going to select this from off screen. Control A, paste, and I'm going to run this. Now what you'll see is a little bit different. So I have a similar, test truth up here. And I'm just, passing it, I have op. I'm not even telling you what it is. So this is actually kind of like using def, but implicitly. Def is a way to do duck typing. So, I don't actually have to specify the type here. But, if I was doing this for like a production type, code, I would definitely have a type here. I'd probably have it statically compiled unless I was trying to do something dynamic where, I might have an exception where I'll have have it compiled dynamically for, just the thing that I'm doing dynamically or something like that. So, here's some more interesting things. So, we're going to test our truth. So, false, that's operation that comes through, that's false. Zero is false. Empty string is false. Empty list is false. This is how one of the ways you can denote inline lists in Groovy. I'll go over those more thoroughly in another talk. Maps, same thing. Empty map is false. True is true. One is true. uh, a list that that has stuff in it is true. A map that has something in it is true. And then all of these examples with the whereas just doing things with equals and equals, all those are obviously true. So Groovy allows you to do things in a less verbose manner. One thing that I didn't do here, which I'm just going to add another case down here, is another one that's false is null. So if I run this, you'll see false. So null is false. So if you wanted to check a map and see like a map variable and see if there's anything in it or if it's not null, you don't care which, you could just say if map and pass the map into it, and that will resolve as a boolean, and it will come back true if there's something in the list, or actually I think I said map, list or map. But if there's nothing there in it, like it's an empty list or map, or if it's null, it will come back false. And this kind of allows you to do things, you know, just a little bit more cleanly, unless you care about those individual cases, which a lot of times you don't in programming. You just want to know, hey, is there anything in here? And if it's null, I don't care. I don't want you to run this code anyways. I just want to run it if there's something actually in the list. So, that's one of the things that you can get away with. Also, since equals is dot equals, you don't have to, worry about like, oh, is this that case where, it's an object or not? I think in later versions of Groovy, which I don't use this ever, I think there is an is operator, which does do, are these two, objects the same object? I don't think I've ever used that in my programming career, but I'm sure there's a reason why you'd want to, but just not something I've particularly used. So that is the Groovy Truth, and that's all I have for you today. So have a groovy one.